All new Dr. Phil. More all new surprising updates.
Megan weighed only 73 pounds.
From Dr. Phil's most talked about guests.
Cindy and Rick were living in tunnels beneath Las Vegas.
Where are they now?
My little brother has been in foster care his whole life.
Children's behaviors were more than I could manage.
When do you think you'll be ready to manage them there?
I'm gonna get my 6-year-old back.
That's the only one you want to get back.
That is not true.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. You probably heard of Throwback Thursday or Flashback Friday, right? Well, today we're doing just that and catching up with some of my most talked about guests. Now, when I first met Minnie in season 12, she and her husband Lon were on the show with their 17-year-old son Andrew. Minnie was convinced Andrew's biological father David tried to kidnap Andrew from the hospital where he was recovering from a self-inflicted gunshot. Now, Andrew said he shot himself to escape physical and mental abuse at the hands of Minnie and Lon. In 2014, Minnie and Lon's 3 young children, 8, 7, and 3 years old, were removed from their home and put in foster care. Now, Lon and Minnie came back to the show in season 13 to find out how to get their children back. Take a look.
Life was really good until I turned 7. That's when my mom married Lon. Lon physically and mentally abused me every day. My mom would be in the room while my dad was beating me. She never did anything to stop it.
Lon, let me ask you something. Is that true?
This child's never been abused, Dr. Phil.
Are you telling the truth here?
Words can't describe how bad it actually was.
On November 9th, 2012, my son tried to kill himself by shooting himself point blank in the chest.
Why did you shoot yourself?
I did it because of you and the house I was in. My mom is neglectful, hateful, crazy. I testified about the physical abuse, the verbal abuse, the marijuana, the alcohol. My mother would lock my little sister in the closet when she cried. They called her the closet baby.
You said when DHS took your 7-year-old sister, she had day-old feces in her pants.
Yes.
No. Dr. Phil, that was an exaggeration.
That is not exaggeration.
She did not.
Why did they get
Why?
taken
Because
away?
you're a liar.
That happens
You came
every
on
day,
national
Andrew. You said
television
you're
and made-
starved
in
on
court
national
and
TV.
lied.
You were never starved. And that you were beaten every day. You were never beaten every day.
You were starved, Andrew? You want to tell everybody
No,
you were
sit here and
starved?
talk to me.
Lying. You were. You did emotionally abuse him. Why don't you give him that?
talking
Why don't
about
you
starved.
apologize for how you treated him?
I gave
you
up,
did
Andrew.
treat him wrong.
When you became a drunk hothead, I gave up.
You!
You can't look me in the eyes, can you?
Oh,
Can you tell me?
Andrew, I
You
can look you in
abused
the
me.
eyes. I can look you in the eyes, Andrew. You were pitiful.
You're a
drunk,
coward.
and
That's what you are.
You've had restraining orders against him.
We're at this point separated, and we filed for divorce.
I did have one restraining order that I did remove.
Do you want your children back?
Yes, absolutely.
You've got to acknowledge the fact that there were things going on that needed not to go on. You need to show insight that you understand the impact that has on the children. And are you willing to do what it takes to do
Yes,
that?
I am.
Yes, absolutely.
It's been 4 years since Minnie's 3 children were taken away from her. Did she get them back? Does she have a relationship with her oldest son, Andrew? And how is her husband, Lon, doing? Well, take a look. Minnie, it's good to talk to you again.
You too.
Tell me how you're doing.
Well, I am being a mom. I'm a student. And I'm still trying to get my my 6-year-old back.
Okay, and your 6-year-old right now is with DHS, correct? So that would mean in foster care?
Yes, as well as my 9-year-old.
Are they together? Or do
They are
you-
in separate homes.
Now, you do have 2 children with you right now, right? You have an infant and a 10-year-old.
Yes, I do. I have custody of them.
How's the 10-year-old doing?
He is doing amazing. When he first came home, he was very violent, very aggressive, destroying property. I had to call the police every week.
Wow.
They were about to lock him up for a year in a residential facility.
And at this point, you're working with DHS, is that correct? Because when you were on before, you were at war with them, and I was advising you that they were not the enemy. You need to take a different approach. The problem that DHS has with you is that you're hostile towards them. If you guys want your children back, you're going to have to comply with the rules, whether you like them or whether you don't, and you're going to have to be 100% transparent. How's that working for you?
You were correct with that, Dr. Phil. My caseworker and I are very close, but I believe that the reason that I have gotten my children back is because of that relationship I have with my caseworker.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad that you heeded that advice, because there's no way to win that war, so you have to work with them, and truly they are about unifying families. Now, you were married when you were on the show before to Lon. Are you two still together?
No, we are not together. We did get a divorce. The only contact that we have is about the children for supervised visitation, but I prefer not to have contact with him.
Okay. Now, as you were saying, the 9 and the 6-year-old are in foster care. What happened?
Well, Dr. Phil, I had no idea how to parent children who had experienced trauma. They all wanted my attention all at once. I'm a single parent. I wasn't prepared for my 11-year-old to be having to call the police on him. He was breaking things. It was a scary situation, and I could not manage all 4 of my children. The baby at that time was an infant, and he wasn't walking. There were things happening in the home that was placing him at risk of harm. And so I could not manage it as one person having multiple children with special needs. And so I contacted DHS and said, I am struggling. I can't do this anymore. And they came and took 2 of them. And now I'm working to get at least 1 of them back.
Okay, so you voluntarily gave the 2 up because you felt like it was the safest thing to do?
I felt that it was the best thing, because the most violent child I kept, and that is because I believe they were going to place him in a residential facility.
What do you think of Andrew trying to get guardianship of your daughter?
I'm very conflicted about that, because the caseworker told me that he had said to her that if he got guardianship, I would not see my daughter again. And I thought that's not very healthy for him to try and cut me out of her life. I don't know if he's prepared as a parent to manage a child with trauma, and I don't think that I should be cut out of her life.
He says that he doesn't want you in his life, and he is very angry about that. So if there was some way to heal that and get that changed, you would want to do that, right?
Absolutely, I would.
Coming up, Andrew is back and says he has something to tell his mother. We'll talk to him next. So what's happening with you in your personal life?
The only thing that I have to say is I went up to Oregon to see how my brothers and sisters were doing, because I wanted to get more involved in their lives, and I found out a lot of really disturbing information when I went up there.
When I met Vinny's oldest son, Andrew, 3 years ago, he was recovering from a self-inflicted bullet wound to the chest. He says his mother was ignoring his cry for help and felt the only way out was to shoot himself. But now Andrew is 20 years old and says his life has changed dramatically for the better. Take a look. So, Andrew, tell me what's going on with you, and we'll just let Minnie listen in for a minute and catch me up.
Since the last time I was on the show, I started a landscaping business out in Las Vegas, and it's doing very well. I actually work in St. George in Utah, and I also work in Las Vegas and Overton, so I kind of run 3 branches.
Great. So what's happening with you in your personal life?
The only thing that I have to say is I went up to Oregon in January to see how my brothers and sisters were doing, because I wanted to get more involved in their lives. And I found out a lot of really disturbing information when I went up there. And
what did you find out that was disturbing?
When I was up there, I wanted to see my 10-year-old brother, and my mom didn't let that happen. I did see my other 2 siblings, my little sister and brother, when I was up there.
The 9 and the 6?
Yes. I talked to DHS, and they said that they can't find anybody to place them that can handle their needs. They're extremely destructive. DHS told me the foster parents that they're with right now just can't handle them, and that they want to work out a plan for me to take them so I can become the guardian.
Now, you're concerned about Minnie and her parenting, correct?
Yes.
What are your concerns?
DHS told me that Minnie, my mom, has made it very clear that she wants nothing to do with my little sister.
Okay. All right. Minnie, what's the truth?
I don't believe that. I do care about her. I just cannot manage all of my children with the special needs at one time. As the psychologist said, send them home one at a time so that the mom can stabilize each one. And so that is what I'm working to do. I've stabilized my 10-year-old, who's now 11. He's stable now. There's no more calling the police on him every week. I used a trauma-informed parenting to heal him. He's done a lot of healing. And now I'm ready for my 6-year-old. And then I will get him stabilized, work on his high needs.
This has been 5 years, though. My little brother, the 6-year-old, has been in foster care his whole life, and you still haven't got yourself ready to take him on. When's it going to stop?
It's been 3 years. And parenting is hard.
So it's been 3 years he's been in foster care, so half his life.
Right, and that is because of the children's behaviors were more than I could manage. I didn't, as you say, screw up.
So when do you think you'll be ready to manage them then? When are they going to get out of foster care?
It is very
because
dependent on
I'm working on getting
things.
him out of foster care, and I'm doing it a heck of a lot quicker than you have with your 3 years.
Okay, so Andrew, it's a process. You know, the children have therapists, they have skills trainers. It is not easy. When you get your children back from foster care, they're not the same children.
Okay, let me interject here. Regardless of what the caseworker said or didn't say, Minnie, would you think that these children would be better off with Andrew than with strangers in foster care, or would you resist that?
If Andrew could understand how to parent them, if they could be happy with Andrew, yes, that would be better if they could be with family, as long as he's capable of managing their high needs.
Well, don't worry about me, Mom. I'll worry about me. I'll make sure everything's all right.
Let me tell you, and I think your heart is in the right place, and I think you want to do the right thing, but let me tell you, it's my understanding that both of these children have very severe behavioral issues.
And that's correct.
So you're not going to pick them up and all go home and sit around the dinner table.
I understand that.
And everybody's going to be hunky-dory. You're going to have to deal with high-demand behaviors here. And you just said, I'm running multiple businesses in multiple cities and multiple crews and doing all of this type thing. And then you're going to have 2 children there that need a lot of attention and a lot of shaping and a lot of behavioral modification.
Yep, exactly. And I've already planned I'm going to cut back on work. So I'll do whatever it takes to raise these children. If it means that I have to up and close down shop for a few months or for a few years, so I'll go ahead and do that.
Well, Minnie,
I'm telling you, Dr. Phil, when my 10-year-old was putting a chair through my sliding glass window, it was something I had never imagined would happen. And I've parented before. The children have post-traumatic stress disorder, Dr. Phil, and adjustment disorder. They have serious, mental health diagnoses. I don't think that Andrew understands that. I know he's saying he's going to these classes and workshops, but for him as never even being a parent to come into this, I mean,
what do you want to see from me?
If people on the committee think that you've done everything you need to do and you have everything set up for your sister, then go ahead with my blessing. But I'm gonna get my 6-year-old back because I've gotten the children in my home very stabilized by using behavioral modification.
From what DHS told me, that's the only one you want to get back.
That is not true.
let's not fight about this. Minnie, you've got the infant and the 11-year-old. You're ready to take the 9 and 6-year-old. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but if you guys work together, let's give it a shot, because it beats the hell out of putting them with foster parents. This is the best shot, and you need to make certain that you keep your mother advised on these children and do everything you can to build a healthy relationship between those two and their mother.
Yes.
And you're willing to do that, right?
Yes. It's not my place to tell them they can't have a relationship with their mother. That's
of
what
course.
I believe.
So, Minnie, you think it's worth giving a shot?
Well, the only problem I see, Dr. Phil, is that I really feel that I can add one more child. Andrew, you live near me. We could do some plan where we could do half time. It'd be like parents who are divorced. I just need more help.
Make that commitment to your mother. Have emotional integrity and keep with that. And Minnie, let the brothers see each other. I mean, come on, we're trying to put family back together, so I think you should let them see each other. And that's what I think, and we'll see what the caseworkers do. And I want you guys to keep me involved. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Minnie, thank you.
Dr. Phil.
Bye. Coming up, we'll catch up with a mother-in-law who drank 4 liters of Mountain Dew a day while wreaking havoc on her daughter and son-in-law. Did she stop drinking all that sugar? Well, she'll tell us next. One of my favorite guests this season was Alana. She was 90-pound sassy mother-in-law who said her daughter's husband, Danny, was an inconsiderate, controlling, and competitive ass. But Danny says Alana was a monster-in-law who monopolized his wife Nicole's time with made-up problems. Here's what happened when we did that show.
My wife Nicole and her mother are best friends, but it's a twisted, extreme, obsessive relationship.
My son-in-law Danny is a complete ass.
I feel like I'm torn between my husband and my mother, and I can't win.
Do you think you have an extreme relationship with her?
Nicole and I have had a wonderful relationship up until Danny. I hate you. I hate you for taking Nicole and manipulating her into not loving me the way she does and did.
I don't try to take her away from you.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I encourage your relationship.
I sacrificed my time with Danny to be with my mom.
I'm afraid that my marriage is going to end in a divorce because of my mother-in-law.
I got to make a choice between my husband and my mother? You want some good news? You already made that choice when you said I do. Loving your husband and being committed to him 100% does not diminish your ability and capacity to love your mother at all.
All Atlanta eats is McDonald's and drink Mountain Dew. Stop doing the do.
You drink 4 of these a day, and then sometimes don't eat.
It's been very minimal.
I think that Atlanta might be using prescription drugs.
Let me tell you what she's doing. It is called the Holy Trinity Cocktail, where you get Klonopin, Asoma, and Vicodin. Those 3 drugs in combination will kill you. You're 90 pounds, you're malnourished, you're depressed. Woman, you are a drug addict on a very lethal combination of drugs. I'm going to send you to Origins. We're even going to get you off of the dew, and we're going to get you healthy where you can begin to see things with some clarity. Does that make some sense? Would you like to do this?
I think it's a miracle, yeah.
Deal? Alana says she was a mess emotionally, physically, and spiritually months ago, but now she's a new woman. Take a look. Well, Alana and Nicole, 2 of my favorites. How are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm doing super.
All right, well, let me just ask you, tell me what's going on. How are you doing, Alana?
I'm doing really super terrific. I just feel amazing, and I really want to say something, if that's okay. I want to say that October 12th, 2016 was a changing day in my life.
Well, it's supposed to be. Tell me why.
Because my whole world changed. Until October 12th, I was a different person. I never knew life. I didn't know how to live. I didn't know how to function. I didn't have boundaries. And I have all that today. I'm 120 pounds.
All right,
5'5".
I like to hear that. So tell me about the son-in-law, Alana. How's everything going with him at this point?
I love my son-in-law very much.
It's great to hear.
I hug him when I see him. We celebrate birthdays together. We had a little party get together at my house. We've gone to a really fun winter festival, all of us together. It was absolutely a blast.
Right.
He's wonderful.
It's been really, really great since Mom's been home. Everything's been going really smoothly, and everybody's happy with each other, and I appreciate it more than you know.
All right, I just wanted to touch base with you guys and tell you I'm proud of you, I love you, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much for our life.
And Robin said to tell both of you hello.
Hello.
All right.
We're gonna get her skincare.
All right. I tell you what, I'll have her send you some.
Oh, thanks.
All right, great. So long.
Bye-bye.
Bye. When we come back, we'll hear from a father convicted of second-degree child abuse. When I saw him last, he was in jail for a crime he said he didn't commit. He's free now, and we're going to talk to him and his wife next. Closed captioning provided by Today, I'm checking in on some of my most memorable guests. Here are two I will never forget. Brenda and Josh had been married for 7 years, both successful in their careers. Brenda was a nurse and Josh a commercial airline pilot when they became parents. At just 11 weeks old, Josh accidentally dropped the little girl during a feeding from his lap, and both parents were charged with child abuse. Now, when I met Josh and Brenda in 2015, Josh was serving a 1-year jail sentence. Baby Naomi was just returned to Brenda after spending 7 months in foster care. Take a look.
The local man convicted of abusing his baby daughter is maintaining his innocence tonight, even as he's being sent to jail.
Did you abuse your daughter?
Never.
The morning of the accident, Josh wanted to take care of Naomi. He said, "You're not going to believe what happened. When you called me, I had been burping Naomi, and as I was hanging up, she began to fall forward off of my knee. When Naomi was falling forward, he caught her by her face and head and had scratched her face. After the accident, we began to see she was lethargic, vomiting. We went to the ER twice. One of the residents said that they had found retinal hemorrhages, and this led them to suspect child abuse of Naomi.
They wound up taking your baby away from you for 7 months.
They tried to terminate my parental rights permanently and then adopt Naomi to another family.
Even though they have no findings against you whatsoever.
That's right.
Josh was facing up to 10 years in prison for second-degree child abuse. He is now serving a 12-month sentence, and Josh is joining us now via satellite from jail.
I love my wife and daughter, and I did not do this. And I passed 2 polygraph tests.
You're a new dad. Maybe the baby was being difficult, and you snapped. Everybody has a breaking point. Was that yours?
I don't just snap.
Then why are you in jail?
The doctor had asked Josh to demonstrate what had happened with Naomi. So he does a demonstration and it fails. The doll actually went up in the air.
The doll went flying?
My hand bounced right off the head of the doll and the doll went flying through the air.
Based on your demonstration, the doctor would conclude that that was abuse.
Correct. All I can tell you is I love my wife and I have never abused my daughter.
Josh and Brenda are joining us on Polycom today and say things still aren't perfect, but at least they're a family again. So let me just ask at this point, Josh, you have completed a 12-month jail sentence, correct?
That's correct, Dr. Phil.
And then other than one visit through glass, you were not able to see Naomi for nearly 2 years, correct?
That's correct.
So tell me, when you're out, having not seen Naomi except through glass for 2 years, how did she react to you?
It's amazing, Dr. Phil. Brenda had played videos of me reading Naomi books and had pictures of me and really kept me alive in her heart. So Naomi recognized me, but I really held back and tried to let Naomi come to me. That was difficult because I just wanted to grab her and hug her and just start crying, but you don't want to scare a 2-year-old. So I really let her set the tempo.
Yeah. How's your relationship with her now?
We've got a special bond. We love spending time together.
At this point, you have no restrictions in your access to her at all, correct?
That's correct, Dr. Phil. I'm home permanently with no restrictions.
Okay. You guys have created a Torn Family Trust to educate the public and to lobby for legislative changes, right?
Actually, a group of our supporters created the organization.
All right, and I'm going to put a link to that on drphil.com so our viewers can go there and learn more about it and read more about that. So
that's great.
We're going to put something on the homepage. And Josh, tell me the standing of your career as an airline pilot.
Well, Dr. Phil, my career as an airline pilot remains very uncertain still. Right now, I'm on an unpaid leave of absence with the airline. So. Okay, and right now, what are you doing financially? Where are you guys living? This situation has devastated us financially. The legal costs and loss of income has been devastating. I can't even get a job washing windows as a convicted felon right now. So we're living off the support of gracious family and friends and living in the basement of a friend's home. Wow. I just think it's terrible that your world got turned upside down the way it did from the minute you walked into that emergency room. And I'm so grateful for this update. We're going to continue to monitor this. We're going to stay in touch with you guys, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks so much.
We appreciate you.
Bye-bye. When we come back, a young woman who weighed just 70 pounds and ate only a few gummy candies, juice, and condiments. How is she doing? We'll find out next. And later, a couple living in the Las Vegas tunnels. Where are they now? You might be surprised. Closed captioning provided by... In season 9, we met Megan, who was 26 and weighed only 73 pounds. She starved herself all day, abused laxatives, and binged and purged at night when everyone else was asleep. Her parents, Donna and Tom, and sister Erica feared she could die at any moment and admitted they enabled Megan's disease just to keep the peace. Take a look.
I'm 5'5", and I believe I'm 70 pounds. This is the lowest that I have weighed.
Megan has been to the hospital 3 times because of anorexia.
Not a day goes by that I don't pray. I'm not preoccupied with thinking about her and what we can do to help her.
I am dependent on laxatives, 9 to 14 a day. I don't want to have this eating disorder in my life anymore. I don't want it taking over my life. I'm willing to do anything.
Why did you want to be here today?
Because I hate my life. I mean, I'm 26 years old. I still feel like I'm 16. Like, my life is the same as it was when I was 16, and that's just because, really, I haven't let anything else happen with it except the eating disorder.
It doesn't register with you how serious this is. Your hair's falling out. You've fainted. The scan shows that your kidney and liver are shutting down. How many times do you throw up every day?
I try to only do it at one big time at like night after everyone will go to sleep and I don't have my privacy.
Does your mother lie to you about going out with Erica?
I don't know.
You hide it from her, right?
I do.
Why do you hide it from her?
Because she'll get jealous and want to come along, and sometimes we just need to have our own time together.
I want you to tell her how you really feel about what she has done to your life with this disease.
You make me so angry. We always have to vent to you. And the other day I wanted to go out and do something with just Mom, but we couldn't, and we were supposed to. We had to keep it a secret. I just want to have whatever a normal family is.
Do you have a strong need for control?
No.
I don't think you've given me an honest answer yet.
It's a fear. It is. It's a fear of...
And you cope with the fear by trying to control what's going on.
Yeah.
You're going to die if something doesn't happen. Now, you can tell yourself otherwise, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't care whether you like me or whether you don't. You got to make a decision. Are you going to listen to your intellect that says, I know he's right? As much as I hate it and him, I know he's right. Or you're going to listen to your heart, which says, get away and be with your disease.
I think I'm ready to listen to you.
Is her eating disorder a thing of the past? Well, take a look.
Hi, Dr. Phil. It's been about 5 years since I was on the show and got out of treatment from the Center of Change in Utah. And my life without any active eating disorder has been completely wonderful. Just the fact that I can now live a life that's borderline normal and I don't have the eating disorder holding me back like it did for 12 plus years. Now I have tools that I can use to get through those difficult times. Currently, I am working in DC as a graphic artist. I've done a lot of art for bands, and I was featured in Rock Hard magazine last summer, which was a very huge thing, and I don't think I could have done any of that if I had never taken the steps and gotten the help from you. I don't know if I'd even be on this earth today if I hadn't gotten your help and support. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
When we come back, Cindy and her husband Rick were homeless, living in the flood tunnels beneath Las Vegas for 2 years. We got them out of there, and next we're going to find out where they're living now. Today we're following up on some of our most asked about guests. Now, 3 years ago, I enlisted the help of professional locator Troy Dunn to help find Cindy and her husband Rick, a homeless couple who had been living in the flood tunnels beneath Las Vegas for 2 years. Take a look.
Nice to meet you. I see you've labeled the wall here. We know it's your house.
Yeah.
Sin and Rick.
This is our guest room right here.
On any given night, we could have 1 to as many as 5 people besides us in here.
So you just let other people who are homeless in the community come into your little space here?
Yeah.
What is the booming sound I hear periodically?
That's cars going over top of the manholes.
How did you come to lose your children?
Dealing drugs.
After the kids were taken,
Yeah. I lost
broke you.
I lost it.
they were better off without you?
You gotta weigh it. That's why I had to let him go.
Is I'd like to invite you to come and sit down with Dr. Phil and I and see if we can't build a plan. Are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
Now, Cindy's 4 daughters say they desperately wanted a relationship with their estranged mother if she could clean up her life. But did Cindy have the courage to face her 4 daughters and answer their tough questions? They had a few. Take a look.
So you were born, tested positive for drugs,
Mhm.
and were immediately taken from your mother.
Yes. Me and Angela went through 9 foster homes.
Why are we all sitting here?
There's a hole in every one of our hearts. That hole was the mom that we were supposed to have.
Cindy, do you think about these girls?
Yeah, I think about them a lot. When I think about calling, I don't know what to say.
Amber, join us. How do you feel seeing Amber here?
You're so beautiful. Sorry I haven't been a mother. It's easier to hide in a hole.
I never wanted anything other than you there, ever.
Ashley?
Do you feel any regret? Every day of my life.
Angela?
Hi, Mom.
I think.
Angela, what do you want from your mother?
For her to get healthy.
These are 4 courageous young women.
I know.
Isn't it time to set a goal, to try to make the past, try to build some relationship here? Isn't it time to do that? I would like to offer, as our gift to this family, to send you to a dual diagnosis treatment center. Will you take that help?
Yes. I'm not going back.
It's been 3 years since I last saw Cindy and Rick. How are they doing now?
Hi, Dr. Phil. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for saving our lives. Thank you for sending us to Origins. That's where we got a lot of healing. I no longer live in a hole. My life is amazing today. I have a working relationship with my children today. And we have a home and a puppy, and we get to actually live life today and help others. I am currently an employee at Origins because I believe in what they do, that they help heal every aspect of your life.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Phil. I got my wife back. I got myself back. And I recently applied for work here at Origins, and I'm going to be joining the team here very shortly. And just so excited to have the life that we have. Thank you for getting us out of the darkness.
Congratulations to Cindy and Rick on their 3 years of sobriety and reconnecting with their family. I'm glad to see they have their own place now to call home. You believe Tim is con man?
Yes.
I think this story's been getting a little carried away.
Where did you get your PsyD?
University of Budapest.
University of Budapest. Well, this doesn't exist.
I'm sweating it.
Closed captioning provided by. Today I'm updating you on some of my most memorable guests. Now, Sherry thought she hit the love lottery when she met Tim. He told her he was a successful doctor from Beverly Hills, a wealthy and well-traveled business entrepreneur, and even a NASCAR driver. Well, after a month of marriage, Sherry says she became suspicious of old Tim. She started to snoop around and soon discovered a trail of lies. Well, he appeared on the show with Sherry to clear the air with her in hopes of reconciling. That didn't even almost happen. Take a look.
She fell in love, got married, and then discovered her husband was not exactly who he claimed to be.
I met Dr. Timothy Sabolsi in May 2012. He told me he was a retired Beverly Hills doctor. He was an ex-NHL hockey player. He told me he was a Canadian Air Force pilot. Within 3 weeks, Tim proposed 2 days before the wedding. He told me that his bank accounts were frozen, so he asked if I would put it on my credit. Things started seeming like they just weren't quite right.
Now, Sherry started to snoop around and soon discovered what she says was a trail of lies.
His name is Andrew Sadolsi, but that might not even be real.
Andrew Sadolsi ran a pain management clinic in Garland. The clinic's attorney says his client filed criminal charges against Sadolsi for allegedly stealing more than $30,000.
You believe that Tim is con man?
Yes.
I think this story's been getting a little carried away, and it's completely incorrect, and it's unfounded.
Do you have a doctorate of
I've done
psychology?
schooling. I never said I was a licensed doctor to her at any given time.
Where did you get your PsyD?
I studied in University of Budapest.
University of Budapest. Well, this doesn't exist.
I'm sweating it. I said the university was in Budapest. It has a completely different name to it.
What's the name?
I'll take a break. I'll be happy to look it up and I'll give it to you.
One of you's lying. Are you lying
No,
to
I'm not
me,
lying. It's
Sherry?
No, I'm not lying.
It's not about lying. I think it's just a complete misconception of what she thinks one is and what another is.
Tim, do you want a future with her?
Well, I've always said to her I wanted a future with her.
Sherry, is there a future for the two of you?
At this point, no, I can't see a future for us.
As you can see, Tim broke out in a sweat after the truth was revealed. I've never seen anyone squirm like he did. Did Sherry ever see Tim again after the show? And was she able to move on? Well, take a look.
Hi, Dr. Phil. This is Sherry. I wanted to give you an update since being on the show. Life has changed for me for the better. It's fantastic. I have a new career, and also I have a new man in my life. Just over a year ago, I met my best friend, and he is wonderful. And he's real and he has a job. As for TJ or Tim, I'm not too sure what name he was going by at the time, but he unfortunately after the show met his end. I guess somebody wasn't too happy with how he was dealing with them, so he is no longer with us. And that means that no one else can ever be hurt or financially or emotionally destroyed by that man. So I want to thank you, and your viewers were absolutely fantastic. I got emails from all over the world telling me how brave I was, even though I didn't feel brave at the time. Thank you again, Dr. Phil.
Tim's murder is obviously very sad. I'm so sorry to hear about that. Meanwhile, I'm glad Sherry has moved on with her life. If there's a past guest you want us to catch up with, let us know. Go to drphil.com for more information. Thank you. We'll see you soon.